Tucson. Quick check of the weather before we head over to Studio 2A. Currently 82 degrees. Overnight low of 67. Warm tomorrow, high of 96 degrees, and should be cooling down as the week goes on. It'll be in the 80s by Wednesday, or by Thursday, that is, and continuing into the weekend. No rain on the forecast. Sunny skies. Looks to be quite nice. Well, with that, we are now ready to head over to Studio 2A. My next guest, Night Weather, are going to be performing this weekend at Club Congress, along with Boy Girl Boy and Bougainvillea. We'll chat about that and a whole lot more. And don't forget, if you want to watch this performance, you can see live streaming video on the KXCI Facebook page or YouTube channel. With that, we're sending it over to Studio 2A and Night Weather.
If I never love like you again, give you that I have, give it all away. Everything I have, just to see your face.
Studio 2A with Night Weather.
How's it going, Matt?
I'm doing great. How are you?
How you been, man?
I'm great.
I feel like it's been a while.
It has been a while. Let's go around and do some introductions for the listening audience. Let us know who you are and what you're doing tonight.
Start with Josh, because I want to make him the most uncomfortable.
My name's Josh. I'm the drummer for Night Weather, one of several. And I'm just here to...
You hold a special place in our hearts, though.
Of course, I'm your favorite, as always.
Yeah.
And I'm just here to make music with some friends, have fun, and be on the radio. It's fun.
Well, you're in luck.
You've done all three.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we can only say 2 out of 3 for sure, because only you can know how much fun you're having.
True.
And I'm Brittany. I'm playing some bass synth and singing.
And just being cute.
Oh,
You can't see that if you're on the radio, so here's a pitch right now to go on YouTube Live.
There you go.
he has to say that. He's my husband.
Well, yeah, kind of. I'm Mike. I only say that because it's kind of it's just a dynamic of our relationship that I'm kind of blatantly honest to a fault a lot of times, but I think Brittany has come to appreciate it, right, babe?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, honesty is important, but sometimes too much honesty is a thing that can happen. And I am learning that more and more as the years go on.
Before we move past our introductions, I don't want to move past the fact that if for folks who weren't watching, they might not have known that, Mike, you were playing a very unique instrument on that last song that I want to take a moment to talk about. So what was that?
Yes, this is Tabitha, as she earned her name on stage one night out of random... I kind of picked it out of thin air, and I don't know why the name Tabitha was in my mind, but that's where it went. And she is a unisynth. If anybody knows what an omnichord is, it's made by the same company, and it's made by Suzuki, who also makes cars and a bunch of other things. And it just wasn't really that popular with people in the 80s, and so they didn't make that many of them, and I just found one at the Chicago store downtown and kind of bartered a little bit for it and fixed it up a little bit. And sometimes it breaks and you have to hit it a little bit and it comes back.
It's 30 years old.
Yeah, it's about 30 years old. But it looks really cool. So that's mostly why we have it. But it makes some cool sounds too.
Yeah. I mean, it honestly, it looks like a toy, but it's very, in a cool way. And
yes, that's kind of why I was drawn to it.
Yeah.
That's mostly what is in my studios. Instruments that really aren't worth that much money. I have a bunch of old, weird 80s keyboards that can just make some weird sounds. And it warms my heart to see little things that are cheap get a new life.
Are you, in general, are both of you or either of you tinkerers? Like, is part of what you enjoy about this band the excuse to play with toys?
Yeah, it's mostly what I... That's probably why it takes us a couple of years to come out with a new album, because I'm really just playing with stuff. And then I have to record it to legitimize my musicianship.
Yeah. Speaking of a few years, this next song is called I'm Not Ready Yet. And we pretty much wrote the song about how easy it is to put your dreams aside. And I think, in a way, we've done that on and off in the past with music. And this is super exciting for us to be right back in it.
To just go do it.
Yeah.
It's easy to just, well, for me, I just get a little psyched out about making it just right because I'm tinkering with it too much. And it just loses, the fun of it. And I feel like I'm not quite where I want to be. And you put stuff out and it's really vulnerable and everybody can judge your soul.
Sure.
And you just got to do it. That's kind of what we did with these last 3 songs. Although we spent a good amount of time on them. But at some point, you're just like, okay, you just have to really... I think there's a great quote about that by someone I can't remember that says a song is never finished, it's just released. So.
And that's true more now than ever, I guess, when you can finish it and it can be up on streaming services or your website or that day. Yeah, right. So it's just out there. Now, if people want to judge you for themselves, they have an opportunity to do so this weekend, Saturday.
Yeah. We are also going to be playing up in Phoenix at Lunchbox, the Lunchbox.
Cool.
I keep forgetting there's a "the" at the front of it, but that might help if you're looking for it on Google.
It's Thursday.
It's at the Lunchbox on Thursday. Cool. Also with Boy Girl Boy and Bougainvillea.
Excellent.
Boy Girl Boy is a band that is made up of Stephen and Celeste Tracy, who used to run St. Cecilia Studios down here, which was amazing. And now they're in Portland now, and so is the studio. But they're coming back for a little stop through and say hi and play some music.
Cool.
So,
And so Thursday for folks listening in Phoenix and Saturday at Congress for our Tucson listeners.
yes.
All right. Well, why don't we get back into some music and then we'll chat more in a bit. You're listening to Night Weather here on Locals Only.
Most of my life I spent on
This one's called Wish I Didn't Care. We got a cover coming up for you by a young man named William Eyelash. It's a song about how much he loves the sea. Here we go. Can't stop still.
You know make me cry. Give me those ocean eyes. I'm scared. I'm never falling from quite this high. On into your ocean eyes. Ocean eyes. All right. This next one is an oldie but a goodie, as they say in the business. This is the song that kind of started it all. It's called Ghost Lemon. The sun is shines darker in the day. A fall of denial, a fall from grace. The end of an era was great, destined to fall, will it be replaced? Oh, ghostland. Rising moon, weeping she goes, calling the names of the lost and lonely souls. Feeling our way through the night, white eyes in the dark that were made for seeing light. Oh, ghostland. I still feel sensations that run through my bones, and I still sit there even though I'm alone. And sometimes I pretend to on the way home. Oh, ghostman. Ghostin'. Ghostin'. Okay, this is one of our brand new songs that's unreleased. It's called Out of Circles. It's about how it's really hard to feel like you fit in anywhere. But maybe you should just look around and find the good things that you have and accept the love they're bringing to you. Not you, Josh. I've already accepted you. Thanks. It's called Circles.
start that again. Okay. Just building tension.
You're tuned in to 91.3 KXCI Tucson. This is Locals Only. My name's Matt Milner, and I am live in Studio 2A with Night Weather. Thanks again for coming down tonight, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
So, Mike, you mentioned that last one, Out of Circles, is one that hasn't been recorded yet. So where are you in?
Yes. Well, it hasn't been released yet.
Hasn't been released yet. Okay.
But it also hasn't been practiced very much yet. But yeah, we figured it out after a little bit.
So where are you at then in the cycle of recording and releasing music right now? Do you have anything on the horizon that's in the can?
Yeah. So there are a few songs that are kind of just smooshing together because they have this similar kind of vibe and story that's happening within them. And we're calling it Moonblind EP. And that is, we're probably going to release it next month and have kind of a cool little get-together release show kind of non-traditional, non-venue type of thing. Just hang out, party night, listen to some songs. We'll play a few songs, stuff like that. But that was one of them. The very first one we played was also one of those, and we will be playing the third one up next. That's called I Could Never Find. But the theme that's kind of running throughout all of them was just this feeling of kind of not knowing where to be, not kind of having one foot in one world, one foot in another. And I'm sure a lot of people feel this way, especially now with kind of how many subdivided subcultures are emerging everywhere, that you never really fully fit in any of them. And that can be kind of disillusioning because you want to know where you belong in the world. You want to know how you should be and how you can interact in the world, and then kind of being faced with the kind of disillusionment can be pretty disheartening because we're made to be like we want people around us that we know and that we like and that share our interests in that. And so it can kind of feel like I don't have anybody that really understands me. I mean, that's a super cliche artist thing to say, but they say it for a reason. And so kind of throughout the process, we started writing these songs earlier this year. And then just on a personal level, I've kind of gone through a cycle where these songs started out and then just finishing up recording them a few weeks ago. I'm kind of coming to a different place now where I'm like, I have a lot of people in my life that love me, and I could definitely be more understood, but also, is anybody really ever fully understood? Because I've been with this lady for 13 years, and I feel like I know her pretty well, but, if you're in a long-term relationship with somebody, you know what that's like. It's like there's just parts that you'll never really understand. But so part of it is kind of just like accepting that, there's more love in my life than I think, and there's more people around me that care about me and want to try to figure out who I am and care about that, and I want to do the same thing for them. So that's kind of what's running throughout these songs.
So it sounds like then when you started writing these songs and started recording them, you didn't necessarily know that they were going to end up as a discrete EP, but it sort of evolved that way over the course of its life.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't know they were going to have like a bow tied on them.
Yeah,
because I hate that actually. I hate when you have a positive song that's like everything's hard, but I'm great. Things can get really bad, but look, there's the sunshine coming up over the mountains. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Bill Withers' "Lovely Day" is one of the best songs ever written, but he's one of the few guys that can pull off that kind of song. Also, we grew up in churches, and that's pretty much just every song. Like the most you can mention is like things are hard sometimes, but I'm okay, and God is everything I need, and like that's sometimes you just got to sit in the fact that things suck and be okay with it.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you and Brittany have been together for 13 years now. I'm always curious for musical couples. Did the relationship predate the musical collaboration, or has there always been music that was a part of your relationship?
Well, I love this story.
Mike's smiling at me now because I love telling this story. It's almost unreal the way we met. We actually met at a competition for musicians. So we were competing against each other.
Wow.
And we had to perform original songs in front of judges. I was a teenager. He was a little older. And neither of us did very well. The judges didn't super love us. But we super cheesily got together, and Mike would write songs to me about my hair and my eyes, and we that week we would stay up all night writing songs together, and it's
pretty much I I had to kind of play my cards right because, honestly, the first night I met her, I was like, oh man, this lady's weird. She was like running around. She was pretty much the first time she'd really been like. She kind of grew up in a sheltered home, and she was amongst tons of musicians and was just running around crazy and loud and talking to people, which is, if you get to know Brittany, you know that's how she is, but not in the annoying way. I didn't know that at the time.
Oh my God.
And so everybody loves Brittany. It's a fact. But I didn't know this at the time, and I was like, what? Oh man, this is one of those really loud people.
No.
And she's really not. But I feel like the moment I knew, like, oh man, I gotta hang on to this lady, she was playing a song, and we were in one of the dorms. She was playing a song for a couple of us, and she was like doing these weird chords that she had made up on guitar, and like her voice was really like smoky and cool, and her lyrics were like edgy, and she finished playing. Like the whole time my heart was just like and then by the time she stopped playing, I was like, that's hot. Only I didn't say it in my head like I thought I did. And it came out loud, and I was embarrassed.
He said it out loud. That's hot.
And I was like, oh. But so basically, that's when I was like, okay, all right. And then there's this other kind of creepy guy that was creeping on her, and so I used that as my
Creepier than
in.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's only creepy if you don't like it.
Right.
So.
Right.
So basically, I used that as my in, and she was like kind of weirded out by him. So I was like, you know what would be good to kind of shake this guy off is we can pretend like we're like dating.
Oh.
So we go into this like
Smooth
seminar thing that's happening for the musicians, and I was like, we'll sit in front of him, we'll hold hands so that he sees it. and
let's pretend
that's
hold
how it happened.
hands.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he saw it, and then I just kept holding her hand, and then we got married.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all you need.
Wow. He was that man. He was like your creepy, bizarro wingman.
Wingman, yeah.
Yes.
For
yeah.
sure.
Wow.
Thank you, Spencer, if you're out there listening. we owe it all to you.
Oh man.
That
You
is
still
a
remember
really,
his name?
Yeah. He's not listening. I don't
He
know where
doesn't
he
live
is.
in Tucson.
No.
It was really funny though because everybody there saw us get like totally infatuated with each other, and everybody's like, "Oh, you guys are gonna break up in like a month."
We showed
And the same
them.
thing happened with my buddy that I came back to Tucson, and I was telling people about her. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm pretty sure like she's the one." And he was like, "Yeah, right." I was like, "No, like really." And so I was like, "Well, how about this? We'll put $100 on it,
Oh.
and if you win, you have to be the guy that takes $100 from a guy that just got broken up with. But if I win, I get a $100 wedding present." So we shook on it. He shook on it because he's that kind of guy, and he paid up. He
There
did
you
when we
go.
got married. I invited him to the wedding specifically for that purpose. Secondarily, because he was my friend, and he paid us, and we probably got something on our honeymoon that we wouldn't have otherwise had if I didn't bet on our love.
There you go.
Chris, I hope you're listening to this. He does live in Tucson.
He does, yeah. He might be listening. But good for him, you know.
Yeah.
He's come a long way as a person. He doesn't bet on people's relationships anymore that I know of.
So we're gonna slip back in for a couple more here. Mike's picked up a bass, and we've got one more instrument change ahead of us, so we'll do one more quick chat. But you're listening to Night Weather here in Studio 2A. They'll be performing at Congress on Saturday.
Thanks. This one is a new song. It's called I Could Never Find. I could never find my hand to hold on to. I could never find a love of my own. I could never
I can never find a love of my own. I can never find. I can never find a hand to hold on to. I can never find. I can never find a love of my own. I can never find. Not as bad, not as bad as I thought it was. Not as bad, not as bad as I thought it was. Not as bad, not as bad as I thought it was. Not as bad, not as bad, not as bad.
You're listening to Night Weather here on Locals Only, live in Studio 2A. There'll be a Congress on Saturday playing with Bougainvillea and also Boy Girl Boy. And Thursday night at the Lunchbox for our friends listening up in Phoenix as well. What's the best way for people to listen to your music online and find information about upcoming shows?
Whatever streaming service you have is fine. Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. We have some of the older songs. Some of the songs you've heard tonight were from our previous moniker, Infinite Souls. And so we have an EP called Ghost Limb, which has 5 songs on it, under Infinite Souls. And then on Spotify under Night Weather, we have one song, which is the one we're about to play, which was kind of a weird mishmash of random found sounds that we looped into like a percussion thing and then wrote some music over the top of. But that's the only song you'll find on there right now because we've got these 3 coming up. Probably next month they'll be up on there. But if you follow us now, then when it comes out, it'll be on your release radar.
Yes, and you can follow us on Instagram at night.weather, and we'll post showtimes and events there.
Yeah.
Excellent. When you made the decision to change the moniker, was there... I'm always curious. I feel like in today's... One of the flip sides of the world of Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that is that you can discover that there's like a Finnish black metal band that has the same name as you that like are
Yes.
So was that part of the name change? Is there some other Infinite Soul out there, or were you just feeling a new name?
That's a
Very
piece
good
of
guess.
it, yeah.
Yep. In South Africa.
It wasn't a black metal band, though. It was like a EDM band.
Okay, yeah.
We kept getting tagged in all their stuff. And also they... Like one of our songs ended up uploading to their profile instead of ours, and then
they got a lot of plays. And we're like, oh,
like, what the heck, man? But yeah, it was kind of like a band name that had kind of come over from some other previous songs we'd done, and I was like, yeah, we'll just keep it in. And then we went to this thing in Nashville for DIY musicians, and kind of just to learn things about the business and meet other people that are doing it. and kind of just to get out of town for a little bit.
Mhm.
And we had been thinking about changing our name. We came up with the name Night Weather, and we were like, well, we're about to put more into this band, so now would be the time to change it.
Mhm.
So we decided to just go for it. Searched, there was no other Night Weather. And
We were pretty surprised.
yeah, so we're the only Night Weather band that's on Spotify.
Mike and Brittany also like to make a lot of puns regarding this. They'll let us come hang out like, oh, there's some beautiful night weather out right now if you guys want to come hang.
Yeah, it's a mutual thing because we'll do it 2 people and we'll receive it as well. So, it's all about name recognition.
There you go.
It's the marketing behind it. Actually, I know nothing about marketing.
Well, what we do know is there's one more song here from Night Weather. Thank you for listening to Locals Only. Again, you can catch them this weekend, Thursday night at the Lunchbox in Phoenix, Saturday at Congress. And, we've got one more song here from Night Weather.
Thanks. This one is called It's All Right, We're Okay.
You've been listening to Night Weather here on Locals Only. Once again, Saturday, October 12th at Club Congress.
Yeah.
And want to thank everyone for coming down tonight.
Thank you so
Josh,
much.
Mike, Brittany,
Especially you, Josh.
Yes.
It's all me. I just write all their music for them. Don't listen to anything they say. Hit me up on Instagram. No,
You don't have an Instagram
that's correct.
because you're too cool.
So, anything else in the last minute that we have? Anything else to plug or mention while we have a live microphone?
Yes, I do have something to plug. My mom went to the same high school as Prince, and I just want people to know that.
Well, that's important.
Pretty close in time too. I think he was like a senior when she was a freshman, or maybe 1 year before. So I feel like, you know, she sat in the same seats as he did, probably walked through the same halls. There's definitely some of like the juju that kind of drifted over, I think.
Flowed into.
It would explain why my favorite color is purple. And it would also just make me feel better about being so white and wanting so badly to play funky music.
Well, that's as good a note to end on as any. We've been listening to Night Weather. Remember, if you missed some of this performance, you can actually head over to YouTube, and shortly after we wrap up here, the live footage will be archived and available there, and you can head to the KXCI website, kxci.org, for streaming audio in the future as well. So with that, thank you for listening, everybody. Locals Only will be back next week. Sophie will be your host next week, and we'll have more live music for you. So thanks so much. Have a great week.